Getting paid just to record your voice sounds almost too easy, right? Well, I found a platform called Silencio AI that claims you can earn money by helping train AI with your voice recordings. But here's the thing, they don't really tell you much until after you sign up. So I signed up, tested it out, and I'm going to share exactly what I found in this video here, including some very important things you need to know before you start. In case you don't know, my name is Mikael and I have tested hundreds of different ways to make money online, and I share my experiences and my opinion here on this channel here to help you find the right opportunities for you. And in this video here, I'll give you a full honest walkthrough of Silencio AI after testing it myself. I'll show you how the platform works, how you record your voice, what kind of projects are available, and how the earnings are calculated, including some limitations you need to be aware of. So if you're curious about earning by helping train AI with your voice and want the real pros, cons, and expectations, then let's go through it all step by step. So let's start by going over what Silencio AI overall is. Because when you come to the website, there's just a button that talks about train AI and earn money. But when you click that, you actually have to sign up. So there's not much information until after you sign up. But let's first give you a quick overview of what it offers before I then log in and show you some more examples. But what they say is that you record your voice and it will help AI understand voices, accents, and dialects. And this will then power robots and assistants with natural hearing, for example. They also say it can help preserve cultures and languages that may otherwise disappear. So overall, you will record your voice and it will be used to train AI. Exactly what that means and some examples of all that, that's what we will go over in just a bit. But let's now then talk about how to sign up and if there are any requirements also. And there are not as such any requirements to join, but you do need to be able to record your voice without background noise. You need a decent microphone, you need to be able to speak clearly, and you need to have a decent recording quality. But by now, most people have decent recording device or microphone. So for most people, it shouldn't be an issue, but you do need to make sure that you can record it where it is fairly quiet. And the great thing is that it can be in different languages, but I will also talk more about this and show you some examples of this later. And to sign up, you would just need to click here and then go through the process, signing up, and you have to fill out your profile right away before you can even see what it's actually all about. That's also why I decided to record this video, because now I can explain you more than you can actually find on the website until after you've signed up. But you just need to be aware, you then, if you're interested, need to sign up, fill out your profile. You then have to see an introduction video that explains a little bit more. It takes a total of maybe 5 to 10 minutes, so it's not a long process or anything like that. You can do this on the website. It also does have an app, and this can give some other benefits. We'll talk a little bit more about this later. But let me now log in and show you some examples and also a few other things you need to be aware of. So when you join, you have to fill out your profile as I just mentioned there. And one of the important things here is to choose your languages. And you can add languages, and you can see it offers many different languages. It gives you good chances, and this is what I like, because some platforms, they have very limited languages, or you have to be a native English speaker or something like that. But as you can see, it offers many different languages. There are some that it doesn't offer, of course, but it has many options here. It doesn't guarantee that there will always be projects in your chosen languages. That's important to understand. And you do need to choose at least one language where you have the native level. And if you lie about this, there's a good chance that your work won't actually get approved, and then you won't get paid. So be honest about this. If you don't have any of these languages here, then this might not be the right option for you. But this is a very important aspect, because you won't get any earning opportunities unless you actually choose languages here. And you don't have to have it as a native or fluent language. You can see you can also just have basic or conversational, so you can choose all the languages you have knowledge of. But let's now then talk about how you would actually find opportunities here and how much you can potentially earn. So you would just go to opportunities, and here you can see the current ones that you are invited to, and this is based on your profile and especially your chosen languages. So you can see here also how many more hours they need, because they calculate everything based on hours. So you can see that this one is filling up fairly quickly. This one is about halfway. They need like 50,000 hours in total. So there's still time to do that. And this one also here. If you're interested in one of them, you would just need to click it to read more. You can click here to join opportunity, and then you will see all the information that you need. And you can see it is basically where you just need to record your voice. And if you have any questions, they also have these small question marks you can click, and then you can see there is some more information about some of the different aspects here if you want to know more. Even here you can see here also about the earnings there, where it explains a little bit more about, as I mentioned, there are some advantages if you actually use the app, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But as you can see here also, for example, in this case here, I would need to record minimum 20 seconds and maximum 5 minutes. And if we just go back to the opportunities, you can see that they base the earnings on an hourly rate. So for example, in this case, you would earn up to $10 per hour, but I can record a maximum of 5 minutes in this case here. So that means that you cannot just join a project. You might think like, oh, that is great, they need 50,000 hours, I can just join and then I can just record hours of me talking or sharing my opinions, whatever it is, and then I will earn $10 an hour. That's not how it works. There is a maximum for most of the projects, and usually it's quite low. So in this case here, you would earn maximum for 5 minutes. So you can see you would need to participate in a lot of projects to start earning anything real, and there's no guarantee that you will always find enough projects to work, for example, for an hour, so you could earn maybe up to $10. And also be aware that in most cases, the earnings are also calculated based on your voice activity percentage, as they call it. So that means that's also why they write up to $10 per hour. So there's no guarantee that you will earn that much per hour. And also the recordings have to be approved by first Silencio AI itself and then their client. And this can take several weeks. So all this is something you need to keep in mind. But let's now also talk about some extra options you can potentially get by using the app. And then we'll also go over how you can get paid if you decide to do this. So they do have an info section, and this is a good place to start when you first join. It gives you some general information also about the app, because you can see that it gives you some raffle tickets for every contribution if you download the app, and that will give you a chance of earning these SLC prices, and this is a cryptocurrency, their own cryptocurrency that you potentially can win. So that can give you chances. Again, that's not guaranteed, but if you join anyways, you can consider using the app also, because that does give you some extra benefits. But let's also look into more about how you will get paid if you decide to do this. So when you have earned and you want to withdraw, there are some very important things you need to understand. And this is actually something you really need to consider before you start earning, so you are sure that you actually can agree to this, because it's always sucks if you spend a lot of time earning and then you find out that it, for example, offers a payment method that you're not interested in. But the first thing is that you need to be aware that the recordings you do, they need to be approved first. I mentioned that earlier. That can take some weeks, and then they will be released and you can then withdraw. So there's not as such a payout threshold, but be aware that you can only withdraw USDC. So this is a stable coin, but it is only on this peak network here, which is not so common compared to many others. So that is just something to keep in mind if you are not super familiar with crypto. This is honestly not a network that I've heard of before, but maybe that's just me. Maybe you already know it, but what is just important is that if you want to withdraw and you have a crypto wallet, let's say you have it in a crypto exchange, for example, whether it's like Binance, Crypto.com, Coinbase, Nexo, whatever it is, then make sure that you can actually receive on this network here. Because if the platform or the exchange or wherever you have your wallet does not offer it on this network, then you will potentially lose your earnings, because it needs to be on the right network. So just wanted to make you aware of that, because you might not have a USDC wallet on this network where you currently have your crypto. I can of course not say, but that's just something you really need to make sure of. And that's a little bit unusual compared to many other ways I have seen where you can get paid, for example, in crypto. Usually it's a little bit more flexible like that. Also, usually many other AI training platforms or so, they do offer other ways to get paid, so at least you have the choice. I personally think it's great to have the choice. So if you can get paid in stablecoin and crypto, that's great for people that want that, but for people that prefer something else, I just think it's great with the choice. But then at least now you know what the options are, and then you can make your own decision based on that. So overall, I think Silencio AI can be interesting, but it is very hard to know exactly how much you can potentially earn, and there is a risk that even if you think it's great and you record and start working and all that, that the work you do will not get approved. So I recommend, if you decide to try this, to try to do a few shorter recordings and wait and see if they actually get approved, because it can take some weeks, and it really sucks if you start just recording as much as possible. Maybe you put in a few hours if you are lucky that there are that many projects for you, and then you find out there's something with your recordings they don't approve or something like that. Then you just wasted a lot of time. Of course, it takes some patience because they do not just approve the recordings immediately, but that's how I recommend doing it. So you just start slowly, testing it slowly. But if you have any experiences yourself, if you have tried it already, or if you are going to and then you are getting some experiences, I would love to hear it in the comment below. What are your experiences? Do you like it? Do you not like it? If you haven't tried it yet, why would you try it? Why would you not? I love hearing from you, hearing you sharing your experiences, and I always make sure to reply to all comments. So please just share your thoughts, your experiences, any questions in the comments below. Other than that, I would say a few things that I would wish were different here is that I wish that the payout options were a little bit more flexible, as I just talked about, giving you a few more options so you at least had something to choose between. But if you're interested in recording your voice and helping train AI and earn by doing that, this can be an option. It is available in many different languages, in many different countries, but of course, there will be differences in how many opportunities depending on your location and your languages. But overall, because of how the earnings are calculated, it's not something you should expect to earn too much from what I have seen anyways, because you can only record limited number of minutes for each project. So just keep that in mind also. So I would say see it as an experiment, try it out if you think it sounds interesting. If you do not, then of course, don't go for this. Then I do have a list on my website where I have more information about different AI training jobs you can do. Some of them give very different opportunities than this, and maybe they are better for you, so I'll leave that below. I also have a list of general side hustles you can do on my website. I also leave a link to that below, so you can get some inspiration of something else if you don't think this is for you. But no matter what, I hope this video helped you, and if it did, make sure to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video with tips and tricks about different ways to make money online.